I think one of the most important things is to be very grounded to the data and science. And so we're learning in neurodiversity. We just did a study with EY, and it really showed that accessibility and Copilot specifically is having a hugely positive impact on daily work.
AI has a massive opportunity to help people with disabilities like me.
I'm going to show you some of my favorite features that help improve my productivity on the daily basis.
Jeremy Curry.
And I'll just go into Copilot and say, summarize this email.
Christina Mallon.
I'm able to really use my voice through the microphone and voice access that's built into Copilot. I say, tell me the changes in accessibility for the past month.
I'm going to launch Word.
Describe what you'd like to write, including notes or an outline, and Copilot can generate a draft to help you get started.
In this case, I'm going to ask it to write about the history of computer science.
History of computer science. Generate.
A draft.
One of the things that is challenging when you have dyslexia is writing. So to help with that, I will ask Copilot to write a draft email. I'm going to ask it to still keep my tone because I want it to sound like me, and I want it to be short, asking Mary to do a pre-read of the document.
Entering a prompt.
And is now generating a template email, which is short and sweet, which is a brilliant productivity enhancement for me.
When I think about generative AI, I think about things that I've done in my 20+ year career in accessibility that we've not been able to do before now. And some of these things are literally life-changing.
This process without Copilot usually takes an hour, but this took 3 minutes. It's important to give me the time back to work on the things that I love. And generative AI does that.
If you want to make AI more accessible and better for you, use it and provide feedback. I'm excited about the possibility that it will help bridge the disability divide.
Microsoft.
Hi there, I'm Jenny Lay-Flurrie, the Chief Accessibility Officer at Microsoft, and here to give you a quick tour of how we're viewing accessibility in this AI era. Just a quick grounding, what is accessibility and what is it here to do? Well, accessibility is how we operate to empower people with disabilities. It is the means by which we make our physical and digital environment accessible to people, 1.3 billion people with disabilities around the world. And it's a segment that is growing and increasing. One interesting thing that we wallow in is what are those changing demographics? Neurodiversity is the big one that is changing right now, where we're anticipating that people who are neurodiverse, which is an umbrella term that includes things like dyslexia, dyspraxia, ADD, and autism, is growing to the point of almost 50% of the population with the new upcoming generation. So how do we see AI being impacting this particular area? If you think about disability being people with mobility, deafness, blindness, mental health, neurodiversity, and more, can AI help me to do my daily work, life, and play? Well, we're learning that it can. I think one of the most important things is to be very grounded to the data and science. And so we're learning in neurodiversity. We just did a study with EY, and it really showed that accessibility and Copilot specifically is having a hugely positive impact on daily work. And I want to give you a quick illustration as to why that is. If we look at Copilot and the nature of Copilot, Copilot is empowering people, all people, to be able to do things in a more productive way. If you have a disability, it's even more profound because it's driving productivity in a more impactful way. If I'm dyslexic or I have neurodiversity, I often can struggle with things like summarization, with keeping up, with anxiety. Copilot does the work for me. It is providing those quick summaries. It is for someone who is moving through some of these environments, just daily work. It can describe images for me. On the page, I have the Q1 FY25 income statement from Microsoft. It is a very noisy picture, and noisy because it's a graph that describes the changes in that income statement. What AI can do is take that simple slide and give very detailed analytics around it and a pure description. So if I'm blind or low vision and I want to understand that picture, who doesn't want to understand what is happening, then it will give you that bulleted overview quickly within a matter of seconds. And it shouldn't surprise us that one of the big profound impacts of AI and Copilot is how it's empowering the blind and low vision, as well as the neurodiverse communities. But let me talk about one scenario that's a little bit more personal to me. I'm in this role. I've been in this role now for, 9 years. I've been at the company over 20. I was hired in London to work on a little product called Hotmail. And I came to the company very excited to work in a technology company. And my first reason for this is that I didn't think that everyone would want to talk to me. Why did that matter to me? Because I'm deaf. I may speak beautifully, but I cannot hear your voice. And I came to this company. I didn't tell people that that was my experience. And I had this preconceived notion that Microsoft would just be phenomenal for deaf people like me because all we would want to do is email. Well, that's not the case. Like with every company around the world, the most important part is our people. And communicating with our people and our teams is very important. And over the years, I've seen how technology can do some of the fundamental things that matter to me. So 20 years ago, when I first joined this company, I used to have to ask for assistance. I used to have to ask for captioning and a person and a human to provide those captions. And there are still times today where I need that. I still today, of course, leverage sign language, captions giving me the words, sign language giving me the language. And my interpreter is on this call with me right now. But Copilot is now doing so much of the work for me. Previously, I would be concentrating on a meeting. I would have a pen in my hand. In fact, I still have a pen right next to my desk. And I would be following the captions, trying to take notes, looking up and down all day long. It shouldn't surprise you that my neck was actually struggling as a result of that. So right now, I'll give you an illustration of my daily experience. I can go into the options and I can select live captions. Live captions come in. I can also then figure out which language I want to use. I can, if there's a Chinese speaker, a German speaker, I can change it to that language. I can have multiple languages happening at the same time. So if a person is Chinese and is speaking, the captions come out in English. It's a really powerful illustration of how we're bridging between accessibility and localization. On top of that, I can also add transcription. So I can follow what's happening and scroll backwards and forwards. And of course, I can pin my sign language interpreter so she's always visible on the page. I'm no longer going backwards and forwards. I'm using the technology to do the work. Bottom line is, there is a wealth of capability within Copilot that I think is going to power us as we go forward. And there's 3 things that I really want you all to breathe in. One is know that there is mandatory training for employees. In fact, our employees are asked to take training on accessibility, and we make it available to the world. This is a summarization of every single accessibility feature that exists and how to work productively with your fellow colleagues to have inclusive meetings and environments that work for everyone. Simple features that can empower you on your daily basis. Nearly 4.5 million have taken this training, and we empower you to do that right now. The second is I want you to go and try all of these features in Windows. There is a neat shortcut that I want you to take down, I want you to use, I want you to play with it. In fact, hit it now. Windows plus U. Windows plus U. Or if you want to know exactly where it is, Windows accessibility features are right next to your Wi-Fi settings. Why are they there? Because we want to make them easy to find, discoverable, and easy to turn on. So whether or not you're sitting there like my dad, who is losing his vision and he wanted to make things a bit bigger and the text and font quicker, or you wanted to add live captions built into Windows with no need for Wi-Fi to have them, it's all in those settings. And the last is to explore all of the different accessibility Copilot scenarios and figure out what works for you, for your family, and your friends. Those three are probably the most important things that you could do with your time today to be more productive with AI and accessibility. Thank you.